everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make this flip lid gift box. Great for, you know, lots of different gifts. I could see scarves and like smaller pieces of clothing in here. This one flips up from the top, so I've not done this portrait kind of style before. And then I've added these crackers in here, which we're going to be using and enjoying for the King's coronation. But with many of my cracker tutorials, I always say these are great for lots of occasions. So you might have someone's birthday and you could have, you know, maybe some makeup in here. It will hold lipsticks, mascaras, things like that really nicely. They could be great little party favours. You could have, you know, lots of sweets inside of these. I've got a playlist of crackers in all different sizes. I've got massive jumbo crackers, mini crackers, triangular ones, circle, all kinds of shapes. So have a little look if you've never seen these before. So I show you how to make the box in the tutorial, and then at the end I show you how to make that cracker as well if you want to do something similar. I think it's a lovely style. You can also have it open as a landscape as well as a flip lid, and I explain all of that in the tutorial. So let's get started and I'll show you how it's done. So what I'll do is, first of all, we'll make the gift box, because I don't think everybody is going to want to make the cracker. If you see a little nose poking here, it's my puppy. He likes to sit on my desk whilst I craft. So I've tried to position the camera so he's out of shot because he's just watching me at the moment. Okay, so for the base of the box, you want to cut yourself a piece of 12 by 9.5, and you're going to score at 1 3/4 on all four sides. So 1 3/4, 1 3/4, again 1 3/4, and then 1 3/4. So that's the base. And then for the lid, I've already popped my pattern paper on top here. This is a piece of 8 by 10.5, and on this one you're going to score at 1 inch on all four sides. So 1, 1, 1 and 1. The pattern paper piece in the middle here is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. I've used my construction glue on that so it's nice and strong. I was going to cut another aperture out of this and then back it with acetate so you could actually see the crackers or whatever's inside. I think sometimes it's nice if you've got tissue paper in there and you can see it. And then you can see how my topper is going to sit nicely in the middle there. So this is going to flip up in portrait orientation, but you can easily have it flip up in landscape orientation. I'll just give you the measurements for the cracker while it's here. So if you're doing the same project as me, you'll want 4 pieces, but this is 5 1/2 by 10. Along the 5 1/2 side, you're going to score at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, and 5. And then with that 1/2 inch tab on your right hand side, just rotate so it's at the bottom, and you're going to score at 1 1/4, 1 7/8, 2 1/2, and then 7 1/2, 8 1/8, and 8 3/4. Okay, we'll come back to that later, but whilst I've got the scoreboard out, I'll just give you all the measurements. Okay, so fold and burnish all of the score lines, and starting with the box, you just want to cut down along the long side, cut down to the first score line, and again on this side, and then rotate it so you're working on the opposite side and do the same. And then just take a little wedge off of that inside, and again on this side here. That will just get rid of any bulk on the corner. Keep the outside because that will help you square it off. I usually take it off both sides, but I've started to leave this side off. So if I just lay that flat, you can see there where I've just taken a little triangle kind of shape out of each part. So for the lid, just fold and burnish all the score lines again, and decide whether you want it to flip in portrait orientation or in landscape orientation. So for me, like I said, portrait, and I've already got my pattern paper here, which is directional. So I'm going to cut away these top 2 squares here, completely remove them. If you're doing it landscape, you're going to remove these top 2 squares. You need this panel here because that will act as your hinge. You're going to stick that onto the box. The other 3 sides will then be free to open. So just nice and neatly remove the score lines. And then with this end here, just cut down to the first score line. Okay, if it's landscape, you would have cut those 2 away. You're then just going to cut up these 2 and leave them so they look like this. And we're going to be folding them under. You can see how it forms the front of the lid there. So again, just cut a little wedge away from the inner sides there. Okay, so now we'll go back to the base here, and you want to add glue onto your 4 squares, and you're going to stick them behind. So I'll show you on this side first. So just add your glue all over there, and then just bring that under and bring that side around, and then just use that flat side of your tab as your guide to make sure you've got a nice right angle there. And again with this end, and just spread the glue out so it goes right into the corners there, and then you can just give that a bit of move it around before that glue hardens. Okay, so do the same at this end. So now for me, this end here is going to stick right on the back of that box, and then all of this we will wrap around, and you see there how you get that flip lid. If yours is the landscape orientation, you'll stick that long open one down on that side there. So I'm not going to stick those down yet. I'm going to stick them down when we can wrap it around the box. If you want to add pattern paper to your box, then I'm not going to do it on the back panel. I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to do it on the 3 there, but you might want to cover this one before you stick this down. So I'm going to place this down over the top and just get it all lined up, and just let that kind of grab for a second. That's all stuck down. I'm just going to fold these in. I just think I need to burnish mine a bit better, because you want those to fold in so they hug the box like so. Then if you fold these in, you can then secure it, and it just then will definitely fit, you know, fit around your box there. So I'm going to use the quick grab glue here, and I'm actually just going to cut a little bit off of the outside there, just to make sure none of that sticks out, like so. And then just add a little glue on that side first, make sure you get right into the corners. There we go, and then just sit that one around there, and then just slide that one under like so. And I'm just going to carefully open it, and now I can just make sure it lines up nicely. Okay, so we've got our flip lid box there. I've then got these pieces to decorate the sides of the lid. So if you want to do the base, I'll give you the measurements for those, because I may well do it. So I'll give you the measurements of what you'll need. So for the lid, you want a piece for the top and the bottom. So these measure 3/4 by 5 3/4. So one there and one there. And then 2 pieces of 3/4 by 8 1/4. Yeah, 8 1/4, and they're going to go on the sides there. And then if you want to cover these, you'll want 2 pieces of 1 1/2 by 8 1/4, and then 2 pieces of, again, that 1 1/2, yeah, by 5 3/4. So I'm going to stick them down. I'm also going to stick this one on top here, and this, the dimension of this one's 4 1/4, and then the gold piece is about 4 5/8. That's going to go on there. Okay, so that's my box finished. So that's how it looks without a pattern paper there. I might add something to the bottom inside, just so it's a little bit stronger. But it's a really lovely, I think I could see some like pajamas in here, some lightweight clothing, a nice scarf. It's got that kind of feel to it, and I like that portrait flip, you know, style with it. So now if you want to add the crackers, I've got these ones here, and I've got my little gifts to go in these. So I've got, some are already done. I've used the cracker pulls from these are the ones left. These are from the Papercraft Society. It was Helen's kit, and it was a Christmas one. It wasn't last Christmas, it was the Christmas before, and she had a cracker die in there. So I'm going to, these ones have already been done, so I'll add this one to my one in a moment. But I've obviously done this box around holding these crackers, but then the idea is that my mum will use the box to keep things in from the coronation, because she does like to, you know, memory keep and things like that. So I know she'll want to keep this, so I kind of have to just push the bows in. Although I'll kind of, no, I'll lift that up a bit because it does look nice having them. But they should all fit. Like I said, I've not made the last one, but if my measurements are correct, then it will all fit, with a little gap just for the emblem there, because that was overhanging slightly. The other one's going to fit in there perfectly. I picked these up. They're metal, but they're cheapy ones, but it's just a little silly. I thought they're perfect for a cracker. We've all got these printers blocks that we have on the wall. So the old trays, they used to come in those beautiful units for, you know, letter pressing. And we like to keep knickknacks. You know, we're not hoarders, but we like little bits, and they fit perfectly in the little cubbies in the printer's block. So I'm not sure who's going to have what one yet. They're just going to go in, whoever gets what. But I'll wrap them in a bit of tissue, and yeah, I think they're going to be perfect in there. So to make the cracker, I gave you the measurements. You just want to fold and burnish all of the score lines. So do the long ones first. And then with these ones, you've got your 3 there. The first one here, so the one that's closest to the inside, that needs to be a mountain. Then the next one is a valley, and then a mountain. Okay, so you have that look there. So again, if I do it on this end, so that inner 1, 2, 3, that first one there, mountain, then a valley, and then a mountain. Okay. So you've got your 1/2 inch tab here on the right hand side. So you want to remove the 2 squares. Just there, and again here. Just take a little bit off of each end there, so we've got our tab. So now where we got that fold, just fold that right over like so. So you should have a section here, and then on this side you've got a square and then those rectangles. Doesn't matter which side you hold it on, but what you want to do now is cut a pretty big chunk off there, and then again off of here. You just want it attached by a small amount if you're going to pull it apart. Not everybody's going to pull it apart, so you don't have to take as much of a wedge off. You don't have to, you know, you can have it attaching a bit more than that, but we need this to be weak so it can work as a proper cracker. If I just show you, if you don't want to have it like that, you just want to have it more of it as a gift box, just cut something like that. But like I said, the trick for getting them to pull open is this has got to be weak. So again, I'm just eyeballing this. You don't see any of this. It all gets covered with your ribbon, so I don't think you need to be too neat with it. If you've watched many of my cracker tutorials, then you know they've got so many different ways of doing them, but you'll see that that's always really thin. So now you can see you've got that cracker shape, but when they're all together and you pull that, it will just rip really quickly. So again, at this side here, exactly the same, nice big chunk. You can do lots of little teeth, but because these are just small 1 1/4 kind of sections, it's easy to just cut. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little wedge off of these little tabs as well. So, and then using my quick grab glue, I'm just running it down the tab and these smaller ones as well. And then fold it over, and then fold over the other side, and it will all line up. You can put your gifts in, you can make them all ahead of time so they're flat now, and then you can put the gifts in at the end because you've got your hole there to drop it all in. So like I said, I'll put a bit of tissue and just drop those in when I go to decorate them. But now you should see, I mean, they will lock in like that, but I'm going to, obviously once I tie the ribbon around, they're going to bulk out a little bit. For the snaps, I'm just going to feed this one through and it should come out the other side. Sometimes I put them in before, but these ones are a bit shorter, so I'm going to just attach them to one end here, and that way whoever pulls this end, for example, will get the prize. Well, I say that, the prizes usually go flinging across the floor and everyone tries to scramble for it, so it's always lots of fun. There we go, so that's the end then, the other end's just coming down the end there. So I'm going to tie it off now with my ribbon. So I've got this ribbon here from Hobbycraft, and I've got the smaller little emblem here, And I just want to make sure that I've got them all with the same design. So can you see I've got the chair along the top there? So I just want to make, there it is. So that's the front. I didn't notice it until I started putting the ribbon around. I thought, oh, actually those two are the same. Let's see if I can get that one the same, and I could. And then, yeah, just make sure they're all like that. So I'm going to pop that up on a little bit of foam. Pop the ribbon on, and then I'll show you it when it's all in the box. So there is the finished box. Really nice flip lid gift box. And in my case, it's filled with crackers. But you can put anything in this, and it's going to be great for different occasions. So you could have birthday crackers in here if you wanted to do those. You could obviously have Christmas crackers. I think it makes a lovely gift, especially if you've maybe got like makeup, for example. You know, these would hold mascaras, eyeliner, lipstick, like a thin eyeshadow palette. It's a really nice way to, yeah, present a gift. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. As always, product will be linked in the description box below. I'll have some other flip lid gift boxes coming up now. You might want to watch those next, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.